parachutes and rockets. A rocket and a bomb. Mr. Banks, is there a Mrs. Banks? Something, something, something. Is there a Mary Poppins too? And all I ever... Oops, my headphones just went out. And all I ever wanted was a good job and some bus fare. And a rocket and a bomb. A rocket and a bomb. What? Hold on, folks. A Rocket and a Bomb was a song written by a Christian artist named Michael Knott. He was always like on the fringe of music. You know, Christian music is an interesting thing. I followed it since I was a little kid, pretty much. Like, you know, like when I was like 1980 was really the well. I'm trying to think of the first. The Love Song was really the first Christian band. That was like in the 70s. I was too little to know about or listen to. And unlike the normal, why do I have my headlights on? Unlike the normal music industry, really the only spot for, gosh, my headset keeps going out. It's making me nuts. I got these cheap Aldi brand headphones, and they actually sound really good, but the connections are starting to go bad, and so it's like as I use them, then I like move my head or talk, and it goes out. I got it in there nice and good now. Well, anyway, there really was only room in the Christian industry for pop music. And those bands even really struggled hard. Like, you know, I mean, obviously you had got people like Amy Grant and Michael W. Smith, the Imperials. The big rock band was kind of Petra. And then you had smaller rock bands, like groups that I love, like DeGarmo and Key, Jeff Moore and The Distance, early stuff. I didn't really like his like later music. It was kind of corny, but his old stuff was really good, like from the mid 80s. Yes, Evelyn.
Would it be America was song to start the
America was song to start the row program? I need to see the sentence. I don't know what you're saying. So anyway, the Michael Knott was from the early 80s. Hold on. Oh, God. They're talking about the song America, Evelyn, like America, America. Anyway, where were we? Okay, so rock bands, blah, 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 Michael Knott. Okay, so in the 90s, like when I was in high school and graduating from high school, probably 92 actually, 93 really was when it started. There was not a resurgence, but a surge of, you know, just like in the real world, how Nirvana kind of took over the, like we had all these like heavy metal dudes that with long hair and, you know, nail polish and all that, and tight leather pants. That were kind of like ruling the music world. Oh, I forgot. Oh, crap. I've left the harvester again. Oops. Just like that scene got totally smashed by, you know, the change to progressive music. There was a stirring in the Christian music industry too, and there were all these alternative bands. Probably, I would say, probably of most notoriety that people would have heard of was Sixpence None the Richer. And their biggest hit was Kiss Me, which well, it has to do with Christianity, but anyway, they were a Christian group, and they were completely, until that song hit, unsuccessful, because in the Christian music industry, like alternative bands, and there were a ton of awesome bands like Starflyer 59, Mortal, I'm trying to think of other alternative / industrial / heavy metal, Circle of Dust, The Choir. Oh, The Choir was a huge one of those bands that they started like in the early 80s as the youth choir, and then they kind of moved into being just the plain old choir, and they had a ton of albums in the 80s, and nobody bought them, and these guys were amazing. Now he went on, I'm glad for that guy, he went on to write, his name is Derry Doherty, the guy that led the choir, and his drummer was Steve Hindalong, and those guys went on to produce probably one of the most popular pieces of Christian music in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that was an album set called City on the Hill, or City on a Hill. And they collaborated with a lot of different Christian artists, but the guys that brought that together were the guys that were the band members of the choir. So it was nice to see them later in life have some success, but they toured all over the country, and they just never got popular. I mean, maybe I went to a show to see them in Akron. I think maybe there was like 20 people there, and these guys were amazing. I mean, if you like The Cure, they were kind of like a Christian alternative to that kind of music. But in the Christian music industry, like I was saying, there really was only room for pop music. So there were all these artists, and Michael Knott was one of them. Getting back to the Rockin' and a Bomb.
There you go.
Thank you, Violet. Could you put it over here? And Michael Knott kind of was one of those breakthrough artists. He'd been doing it since the early 80s. He was in a band called LSU. And they were awesome. Actually, this is a kind of funny story. There we go. Now I'm finding stories to tell. I went to a Cornerstone is like the Christian version of Woodstock, but it's annual. So people get all muddy, but there's not a lot of drugs going on. But they the years that I went was kind of the alternative scene. So Steve Taylor was there, Sixpence None the Richer. The Daniel Amos Band. I mean, there were all these bands that were kind of like, and Michael Knott, of course, was there. And he had LSU, my band, Volatile Blue. It was a Christian band, and we did, we mostly did our own music, but we did one cover song. 2 cover songs. One cover, but the big one that we did, we always started our concert with this Michael Knott song called The Bomb. Not a Rockin' and a Bomb, but The Bomb. So here's a great story. So my friend Tom and I, when we found out they were the very last concert at Cornerstone. It was like a 1 o'clock in the morning slot on Sunday. Actually, it was Monday because it was the end of the festival, and it ended Sunday night, but really Monday morning at 1 o'clock. And so we were here in Chicago. We're in Bushnell, Illinois, and Tom and I took the day before. We took this giant beach ball, like it had to be a 4-foot diameter beach ball. And we painted it black, and we spray painted The Bomb on the side. Right? I don't know how I got on this topic, but this is kind of a funny story. And so then we put these sparklers, we taped like a collar, like a bomb would have. You know how the bombs, how they're shaped like an old-fashioned pirate bomb. It's black, and then it has that little collar at the top, and then there's a wick that plugs into the collar, and you light it and then throw it. Like the pirate grenades. And so we made this wick out of sparklers, and so we put it out there. We put it under this big tarp, and we went up to the stage. We got right up next to the main stage, and stayed there all night. So people kept coming by, and they're like, "What do you got? What do you got?" And we're like, "It's a secret. It's a surprise." And so LSU, we asked them. The guitar player came out on stage from LSU. They were getting ready to do their set. It's about 12:45, and we're like, what's the plan, man? Are you guys going to play The Bomb? And he's like, oh, heck yeah. And so they came out, and they started the song. It was the first song of the set, and so they start playing The Bomb, and Tom and I lit the sparklers, and we lifted the thing up over our heads, right? And as soon as it went up, with the sparklers, somebody behind us hit it, and the bomb went frickin' flying out into the audience, and Tom leans over, and he's like, well, there comes a lawsuit. Sparklers flying everywhere. We were like, oh no. But what was cool was the entire concert, this bomb, the crowd, there was probably 15,000 people there, maybe more. And the whole time that bowl, it was kind of like a miniature version of Blossom. It was like a big bowl around a stage, but it's outdoors, like an amphitheater. And the whole concert, this bomb was flying around, and then towards the end it started deflating, and Michael Knott kept going back up on stage, and then the band members would kick it off, and Michael Knott finally picked it up and put it over his shoulder, and he goes, somebody let the air out of my bomb. It was so cool. So, but if you go on YouTube, the reason why I bring this up, and maybe I'll put a link in there if I remember, and if I don't, somebody remind me, but if you look up LSU, that's LSU, like Lansing State University, and then type in The Bomb, so it's LSU The Bomb, they have a video, and unfortunately it's not the concert music. Whoever put it together did a crappy job, but you're going to see our bomb. And the bomb is right there, and it's you know, that starts off with some really like stupid war footage, and then the song starts, but then they start interspersing concert footage, and it's actually the footage of that concert, and our bomb is flying around there, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the bomb, that's our bomb. Anyway, that was probably the coolest thing we ever did as a band. We played a lot of shows and stuff too, but we never got to play Cornerstone. It was a pretty elite group of... I know, bombs are real. Are you kidding? The sad thing was, you know, there was a record company called Tooth and Nail, and we did eventually get signed to a good record company, but you know, it was hard, and it was, what made me mad is like this company would sign anybody. There was a couple guys called Danielson that went up on stage there. They had like we played that part. There was like each band gets like 10 minutes. I forget. They called the impromptu stage. That's right. So if you were a band and you wanted to try to get noticed at Cornerstone, you could get signed up for the impromptu stage. You'd have to get there like at 7 o'clock in the morning, and the first like 10 people to get signed up would get to do a show on the impromptu stage. So we did end up getting a short slot. What happened was one of the bands, we didn't get the slot, but then one of the bands was like, well, we've only got like 5 minutes of material, so we'd like to get you guys up there. So we got to get on and do like a 20-minute show. But anyway, one of the bands that was there was like two guys with, I kid you not, those slide whistles, though. And they did a little slide whistle concert, and freaking Tooth and Nail signed them, and we're like, what? Like, they didn't sign us, they signed these dorks? So, oh well, what are you going to do? We weren't very good at that time. We did get a lot better, though. And I got to tell you, as I get older, you know, you appreciate things that happen when you don't appreciate them when you're young, but when you get older, as I've played in several different bands with several different groups of people, there was something about that band that we just had, I don't want to say the magic, but everybody knew where the other people were coming from. We were all on the same page musically, and it was a neat experience to be able to play with a bunch of guys that understood your music and you understood their music, and you could come together to write some really cool music. And I have not found that yet in any other bands that I've played in. Usually it just doesn't gel, but our band really gelled, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, sometime I'll have to pop some of our music up for you, but I'm always leery about that, because then I don't know, I guess I get embarrassed. It's funny because it's like it's good music, but for some reason I just get embarrassed about it, and then I'm like, what's so funny, Cha? Like, I'm always afraid people won't like it or something, and that's stupid, because here I am playing the farm sim as a 42-year-old nerd, worried about my appearance. So I'll release Beamer to you eventually. It's probably one of our better songs. What's the matter? You eating Smarties? Okay, you need to be doing your homework, Ev. These kids are not doing their work. Violet has not shown up yet, and I'm starting to get angry. Yeah? Oh, good. Good job, Cha. Alright, so hold on. Get your little patushki to work. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, on purpose, I'm sure. So, there you go. There's a story for you. Those were the good old days. I think probably out of those, you know, I've given you guys... It was funny, I gave a shout out to my favorite band, The Normals. They're defunct now, but one of my viewers did end up picking up the album, and they said that it was amazing. They were like, I agree with you, it's one of the best albums I've ever heard. They were an amazing Christian band from Normal, Illinois, go figure. That's why they're called The Normals. There was another one that was really good called The Vigilantes of Love. I think they're still playing here and there, or at least the singer is. He's like their main songwriter, but they're kind of like you have to kind of like Bob Dylan to like them. He's got a kind of, I don't want to say irritating voice, but he's kind of got like that, and there in the post box, you there, paper thin. Like you have to like that kind of slidey voice. But they're really good too. I think they only had 2 or 3 albums. We saw them. Not the first time I'd ever heard of them. With a name like Vigilantes of Love, are you not expecting a heavy metal band? I was. I was like, the Vigilantes of Love. But they're like a southern country blues Cajun. It was really good. I was like, whoa. They came out with acoustic guitar, and then the guitar player was playing like this old... the electric guitar player was playing like this old Gibson with a like a Fender, you know, Princeton amp, you know, or whatever the Fender, the nice amps, the silver face. I don't know. I'm not a big Fender fanatic, so... But they have those silver amp faces. And that was it. Then they had, you know, bass player and drummer, and they were just unbelievable, like, so talented as musicians. And I was like, wow, these guys are incredible. So I bought the album. Strugglesville. Welcome all you suckers to Strugglesville. What's the matter? Am I supposed to review you for a second? Oh, pause the review. Yeah, hold on, folks. I'm getting a pause request. All right, and we're off again to the bin. Hi. Are you doing your work? You need help? Violet, do you need help? Okay, hold on, folks. So anyway, going all back to where it started, Michael Knott was the one that wrote A Rocket and a Bomb. And I think supposedly it was his most popular song, and it had many different versions. I like the original one the best. After he left LSU, he had a couple solo albums, and it was on all of them. He was always kind of a weird guy. Like, he just was kind of crabby and just strange like that. Okay, Goose, write it down. I think that's too long, but let me see. Okay. I'll double check it. Do all three of them, and then I'll double check them. Well, my fish are all still alive. I checked the tank the other day and it panicked because my nitrates are so high, and I was like, oh no, like they're gonna freaking die. But I did some research online, and I found that there's a... Because, you know, you can chemically treat it, but that's really hard on the fish. And I was like, man, there's got to be another way. There's got to be another way. So I found that you could do also, like a... they have like this bio rock that you can install into your tank, and it naturally, using little bacteria... it naturally will nitrate your tank. So I bought one of those. I tell you what, though, those fish are expensive, man. Like, between the food and the filters and like, I think I spent almost $100. You know, now it's probably 3 to 5 months worth of supplies that I got, but still, I'm like, keepers freaking criminy. Like, they're more expensive than a puppy. They better live. And then I think I almost killed one because... Sung. Like past tense of singing.
So would it be our cheer song for Sunday school?
What? Our what?
Our cheer song for Sunday school, or would it be our cheer sing for Sunday school?
Well,
Sing.
Yes, correct. Good job. Sang. That's an octopus. Did you measure all three of those? Let me check them. All right, folks, I'll be right back. I have to check Goosey's work. I was going to go on and do the harvester, but I forgot. The other thing I don't like about Auto Combine is it's way too sensitive. Like, here, I can't go forward because this tractor's here. I'm like, what? He could, but he just won't. He just sits there. So you have to back these trailers off. Will he go? Nope, he's still not going to go. If you're anywhere like within 30 feet of the harvester, it won't go. So I'm not, if there's a curve. Like, what is he doing? Un moment, s'il vous plaît. Why is he just sitting there? The frick. it's... That's kind of irritating. He won't go. I find the Auto Combine does this sometimes. I'm not sure. What's the matter? Oh, okay. I don't know what it's doing, like why it's being stupid, but... Okay. Like what's the holdup? And hence the problems with Auto Combine. I like it, but I don't love it. It does really help on these kind of maps, but sometimes it just does stupid stuff. Like what? There's no way I'm anywhere in this guy's path, so why is he just stuck? But I found it's done that to me before. And I don't know what to do to fix it. I really don't. I don't know. I could maybe if we turn this off? Wow, that's really stupid. I'm not sure why this guy won't go. I don't know.
Why?
But if I have to do this by hand, I mean, this sucks. Let's advance a little bit on the field and see what we can do. Maybe it's too close to the edge or something. Okay, hire the worker. Nope, he just won't do it. Wow, that sucks. Stupid. Count by twos. Yeah, good job, Goose. So now we're gonna have to harvest this by hand here. I don't know what happened there, but I've done this map before and not had any issues with Auto Combine. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm having a problem, but that really sucks. How about now? I'm gonna turn the game off and turn it back on and see if that fixes the problem. I'll be back. All right, restarting worked. So for some reason it just got hung up. I don't pretend to know why, but it's working now. So whatever. Whatever. It's the broken harvester. The broken lizard harvester. Hey, we're almost done. Look at that. Just a little teeny pentagram of hay left. It's like the Chrysler symbol. We have the Chrysler symbol for field number 8. Welcome to the Chrysler field. Oh, welcome to Chrysler Field. Could be like a baseball stadium or something. What? You got them all right. You got them all right. Now you got to add up the money. Remember, the quarters are worth 25 cents. Remember?
Write A next to it.
Whoops. No, don't write A next to it.
No, write A plus.
A plus.
That means you got A.
Okay, just let her figure it out. So, well, those aren't 3 dimes. Those are quarters. Quarters are worth 25 cents each. So 25 plus 25 plus 25.
90.
No, not 90. Evelyn, stay out of it. Huh?
70.
Close. 70. No.
5.
Yes. Thank you, Evelyn, for spoiling it.
5.
Yeah, 75. You know what you did. Don't act like you don't know. Evelyn. I say she's from Hevelin, but I'm not so sure.
I'm from
You're from Hawaii? From Viley Land? Okay, so dimes are worth 10 cents. Ouch. Quarters are worth 25, and pennies are worth 1. penny. Those are 10s. Those are 25s.
Can I have a roller, please? I need the roller. Take the roller. I need the roller.
So what's 10 plus 10, Goosey? What's 10 plus 10? Is what? Is what? Alright, folks, I gotta pause it. Go on to your next page, Violet. What's this page? You gotta do this page now. Count those up. 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus... What? Figure these out. If you have to write them out like all the amounts and then add them together, that's fine too, but just get it figured. Ooh. Jackknife. Yes, Evelyn. Yes, Evelyn. Yes, Evelyn. Yes, Evelyn. Yes, Evelyn. No, you can't skip that page. No, you gotta go back, Violet. You can't skip pages, honey. Where did you go? Oh, okay. Do those then. Yep. Yes, you have to speak up because I have the game going and I can't hear you. Yeah. This is the last line of silage that we need. What do you want, Pants? What does it tell you to do? Heal? Heal. Alright. You need to... Hang on. Oh my gosh, my kids are driving me nuts. I'm not patient enough. Violet. So you need to figure out which one of these numbers is half of that number. Which one of these is half of 8? Okay, so draw a line to it. I do like this map. I will say that. It's the only... I am playing Sosnovka by myself, but... I haven't figured out. I was going to do Sosnovka. I just, you know, it's like the server, it's such a lost idea now. I'm sad. But I did get a new computer from a client that wants me to just quote-unquote dispose of it for him. I'm going to give him the hard drive back, but I'll have a hard drive from the other computer. So I think I'm going to rebuild it to Windows 10 and then get TeamSpeak up and working. And that point will make our server... And I'll also have a repository of the mods that we use so that you guys can just easily get access to them. That's right, so find the 2 and make a line to line quote unquote to it. To it. I am so funny. I'm so funny. I'm so funny. Alright, so right now, the Corona is going to be resting in the barn. But eventually, once we're done with the harvest, this guy's going to go out and we're going to forage grass from the other farm, since there are no cows yet. And we're going to use that to make silage at the biogas plant. And we'll start saving up for a second baling set and cows. For milk cows, that is. What, Violet?